Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of kicks that is a version of one of my all-time favorite silhouettes. It's an AJKO one, which is kind of like a spin-off of the Jordan 1. I know a lot of people are burnt out on Jordan 1s, and I'm not. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's look at these AJKOs in the Gray Fog colorway. AJKO 1, the colors are white, black, gray fog, and sail. And this is a size 10.5. What made me buy these shoes? Undeniably the colors. And I like the idea of having a different type of Jordan 1. You know, I do have a lot of Jordan 1s. I don't even know how many I have between lows, mids, and highs, but I have a good many. And this just looked unique to everything that I have. And I really like this color palette, but I've also always thought that the KO reminds me of a mix of a Jordan 1 and a Dunk High. And I'm a big fan of the Dunk High. I feel like when you compare the Jordan 1 and the Dunk, that the Dunk is just a little bit chunkier, like it's a little bit more clunky looking, whereas the Jordan 1 is a little bit more streamlined and classy looking. But I feel like this is a perfect mix between the two, and I like that. So I figured I would go ahead and grab them before they drop in the US and put this review together for y'all. One thing that I don't care for on these is just that the entire upper is canvas. I didn't realize that whenever I bought them. I should have looked closer, but I saw that there's some like synthetic leather up around the collar where we've got that AJKO Wings logo. But aside from that, this whole upper is nothing but canvas, and that pretty much makes these a fair weather shoe for me, because you get dirt on bright white canvas and there's no going back from that. At least I haven't found a solution to it. So if you guys know of something, then by all means let me know. I really like the colors. I like that these are unique. It's not like every other pair of Jordan 1s that I have in the collection. And I just think they look good. So I decided to go ahead and grab them. I think when these drop in the US, they'll have a retail price of $140 US. That's typically what AJKOs go for in the US. But starting with this outsole, as you can see, this tread pattern is not the same as a Jordan 1 tread pattern. It does have this pivot point in the front. It does have Nike branding in the midfoot. However, it's a much different tread than what we have compared to the Jordan 1 traction pattern. This is like a nice grayish sail color, and it's got all these little specks in it that looks like maybe Nike used that grind technology, where they grind up old rubber from outsoles and they kind of use that in making new outsoles. But I really like the color. I think it's pretty cool looking. But then coming up from that, you can see where this sail or gray color meets a white midsole. And even though it's white, it also has that speckled effect that looks like maybe it's that grind technology. So that almost makes it look like it's a little bit gray, but in fact, I think it's just bright white, but it has all those speckles in it. But one thing that I really like is that this midsole is accented with sail stitching. And I think that's a nice little accent. You might not even notice it at first, but whenever you see them in person, it is pretty blatant. Like, you definitely pick up on it that there's a different color in there. And I like that. Nice little touch. That stitching kind of matches this material up here along the collar, which is also kind of like a sail or a cream color. Coming up from that midsole, like I mentioned, we've got canvas for the majority of this upper. It's a nice, I guess this is the Gray Fog color, but I really like the color. The stitching all matches, and I just think these colors go together perfectly, and they look really good on this silhouette. But for the mug guard, we've got this Gray Fog. Then going up the eye stage, you'll see some more of it. And then for the base of this upper, we've got just a bright white canvas. And I kind of wish that was a different color or just a different material. Maybe if they would have made it like smooth leather, I would have liked it more, because it would have just been more forgiving and you would have been able to clean it up easier. But oh well. But anyhow, we see this white canvas on the toe box and then on the sides and along the back of the heel. We've got this loop here on the back, which is also white canvas. I do like how the black swooshes really pop off of there. I think a black swoosh on a white base of a Jordan 1 silhouette, that's always a classic look, and I'm all for that. But then as we get to the top of the shoe, I think I mentioned before, we've got like a white synthetic leather up here for these areas. And this is another spot that just kind of reminds me of like a dunk high, the way that the top kind of comes away from the shoe. That's really similar to how dunk highs are. But you can see the AJKO Wings logo there in black. Looks nice and sharp against bright white. But then underneath of that, I don't even know what I would call this sail or beige colored material. I'm not really sure what that is. It's definitely synthetic. It almost feels like a sweat pant or something like that, like a heavier sweat pant. But I really like the way that color looks up against the rest of the colors, and it's definitely unique to any other Jordan 1 that I have, so I do appreciate that in these. The sock liner is black, which I'm always a big fan of, and you can also see that it's got the size there on the inside. That reminds me of Jordan 185s, the way that they printed that in there. So that's a cool little touch. The tongue kind of has that vintage color to it. It's like a sail or like a vintage white, but you can just see that little tint to it. And this tongue is just like standard Jordan nylon tongues, really nothing noteworthy there. But it's got black piping going along the edges, and then it's got a white tag with black Nike branding there at the top. And it looks like our laces are like an off-white color. It didn't come with any spares or anything, but I think these look nice in there. They'd look good with gray or black laces, I think, too. But that was just a quick rundown of these. I'm not sure if I'll keep these in the collection or not. I would mainly be worried that they would just look dingy real quick, you know? But if you live somewhere that doesn't have a whole bunch of woods and dirt all around, then they might be ideal. But for me, I just think I would muck these up real quick. But let me know what you think about them, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.